another week of This Week in X presented by Crushing Comics. I'm your host today, Fariha, and we are going to do a special episode on the Hellfire Gala that is coming up starting the first Wednesday of June 2021. And this episode, we are going to talk about all our reaction to all the awesome fashion we have seen that coming out so far, our prediction of what may happen in the gala, what we want to see happen in the gala, what we are most excited about, what we are least excited about, and kind of like talk about a little bit of like our prediction going forward once the gala is over. So to get us started, I thought that we will just start with the fashion aspect of it because that's the thing that I am mostly here for. Fashion. That's what I'm about. I'm not about fashion. I don't know anything about it. I just have long hair. But anyway, so my first question for the panel is, of all the different looks we have seen, like, there was like a special Hellfire Gala, the free issue that went out that had like, almost pretty much every named character, that's in the current X run. There's like different fashion that they showed up with. So who is your most favorite look? We're going to start with Peter.
I really had trouble deciding. And I think what I ultimately came down on was Frenzy. I love Frenzy. I think she's a really great character with awesome beginnings, awesome Magneto acolyte middles, and then, her development under Mike Carey. I love it because I think a lot of times you see really muscular women in our actual world who are not expected to present themselves in a feminized way that shows off their body, and who we could debate over what feminized really, really is. But it's almost like, well, if you're too muscular, like cover it up a little bit because you don't want to look mannish, which is crap. It's total made up gender nonsense. And I love that Frenzy here is her body is the feature. I mean, the dress has this beautiful tail coming off of it, and it comes out off of her body a little bit, which is one of my complaints about the dresses like jeans. It just felt like a limp tail. But actually, if you look at it, it's not a whole lot other than the stuff coming behind her. She's got a little bit of like a modesty X across the middle of her body, and that's really it. But then she's got these beautiful sleeves, this beautiful collar, this wonderful kind of helmet tiara thing. But it's like the feature is her body, and she's not afraid to feature it, and it doesn't make her any less attractive to feature this muscular body. And I love it. I just love it from the concept. I love the execution. I think it's gorgeous. I think it translates to the real world. I think somebody would wear it to the real Met Gala. I think she pulled off the sandals with the ankle strap without it cutting her leg. I think it's just a great, great look.
Awesome. Harry?
So this is a little controversial. It seems like there's been some back and forth about it on Twitter from a while ago from what I saw, but I love Sync's look for this gala. Sync, and I'm gonna pull up my iPad here. Sync looks to be very eloquent, cool as hell. Okay, I think the black is really, really classy and striking. I think, believe it or not, he can pull off that hat. I love the silver chain he has, and then he's got this Technicolor dream coat which lines up perfectly with his powers. It's a great example of his powers being converted into a cool clothing item. I think it hangs on him super well. Like when he walks in, people are going to turn heads. I think he just looks awesome, and this was hard for me too. There was a lot I was really into. I really like Laura Wolverine X-23's costume. I think she was amazing. I mean, outfit, she's amazing, but it's going to Sync. And I think he deserves to look awesome after all the crap he just went through in X-Men. So,
well, someone said on X Twitter, he's the newest, oldest mutant now.
Yes.
I just wish those boots had more of a heel. That's all. They look a little bit more like a galosh right now with his pants all tucked in them. I think if they had a taller heel, it would just give a little bit more drama. But he was in the running for me, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a religious person, but he showed up like that at a church and giving his sermon, looking with the hat and everything. I'll convert. I'll convert whatever religion he's
I will
giving.
Follow you.
Yeah,
Nightcrawler, step aside.
Exactly.
Why is he not?
Or get him to join your way of X. But yes. So Tyler, what's yours? I think I can predict.
I mean, come on. You know who has my favorite look. So I'm not going to say that. So I'm going to answer a slightly different question for you. I mean, we know Colossus got my votes for that one.
Tell us why. Why Colossus? I mean, do we have to even?
I mean, he looks hot as hell. I assume.
Yeah. Like, oof.
To me.
I mean,
like, Mother Russia, tell me all about it. I'm defective.
I don't have to tell you.
Russia.
You know, because he is also one of your favorite look. Yeah. Okay, but seriously, I do think that the one that is most surprising for me, and even it's not even that close to a gala look, is Jubilee. Because since her introduction, she has and even when she was a vampire, she basically has one look, which is the yellow trench coat and that fuchsia shades that in some ways it will just come into her look somehow.
Right
here, even though they still play with the yellow and the fuchsia, it's kind of a reverse. I mean, the fuchsia take on a much bigger role here, and it's a simple dress, high slit, which points to her maturing into a young lady, and and owning her sexuality a little bit, being a little bit more sexy. And I mean, I thought that looks really good on her. And then the runner up a little bit for me is actually Polaris, because I'm a science nerd, and her dress is basically the magnetic fields. Is basically based on magnetic field.
That's cool. I like
so that's the only thing that I that caught my eye, like almost immediately.
All right, I would just like to point out, Tyler got 3. Tyler got Colossus that we already knew.
I know.
His actual favorite Jubilee, and then a runner-up. I would just
I kind of did.
My runner-up was Danny Moonstar, just to put it in.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, guys, come on. It's not a competition. I know that.
I'm just excited.
I know it's super difficult. It's super difficult to pick one because they're just simply so many.
There's a lot.
So my choice, it's not Colossus because I know he looks sexy and all that. My choice is actually Mystique, because honestly, it's not because how awesome, and then there's like a lot of feathers and everything. I did not expect this from her. So it was something that really got me surprised, that she's just deciding to just show up with all her bazaars and everything, which is something I know that, I mean, Mystique is a very interesting character in a lot of ways, and then how she's she's kind of in a place where maybe all her dreams have come true, and there's a lot of things, but then there's still a lot of things that is being taken away from her, and she's still scheming, and there's a lot going on with her. But the thing is the fact that she decided to dress up like that and then just show up to the gala and be here I am and all of that, it just, I don't know, I was just I was not expecting that, and there it was looking super well. And then also she still kept the skull, all of that is still there, she's still maintaining her look and all that. But the one thing that just really took my breath away is Miss Darkham attends unaccompanied. And then for now, she says, with a threat always in her voice.
This is a really, I didn't realize Steven Segovia designed this. This was great of him. I really like him.
Right. But anyway. Well, so now that we talked about our favorite, and in Tyler's case, 3 favorites, let's talk about, so I don't want to call it the worst look, because come on, people chose their dress based on whatever it is that's been going on in their life. What is one look you are not quite sold on? Starting with Peter.
Iceman's look is garbage, Mama. It's terrible. It's awful. I know there's some Iceman. It's horrible. I get that they're trying to do a thing where he's doing that kind of Billy Porter gender bending red carpet thing. And I get that there's also a too much to it, and there's a little bit of a meta thing about he's newly out and this is his first big dress up thing. It's too much. But no matter which level we go to, it's just a miss. It's is he a snow angel? Is he wearing a corset? Does he have a long dress? None of it goes together. It doesn't make sense. His bottoms don't look like pants, so it just reads like he's got a corset over his naked body. It's trying, and then he's got silver glasses on. None of it goes together. It's hideous. I think unless the whole joke is that everybody's going to tell him how hideous is, I think also that Lolly kind of failed on it, because I think that even if he was trying to get across this basic approach to gender bending on the white carpet, it's just not the right thing. And I think also if we're trying to make some kind of equivalence between Iceman is gay, so he's going to do some drag stuff. Like we have so many men on the red carpet here doing bare chest stuff, doing gender bending stuff. I just think that that's like a miss. I just think the whole thing is a miss for the character and also creatively.
It just it doesn't feel right. Like even for like Bobby Drake, like it just doesn't seem like the right choice. I guess overcompensating is the closest you can get, but I still don't totally buy into that.
Well, I just hope that in story is that like Christian dressed him instead of he dressed him. Because he's like,
just so he can mock him.
He goes to Christian Frost. He's like, you know what? I have just been out for like 3 weeks. I don't know what to wear. Help me. And Christian is like, you should be doing this and that. And while we are doing that, why don't you just put on like high heels, platform shoes, and this and that?
So I mean, just within this actual group of characters, I think both Prodigy and Eyeboy did this look better than Iceman did. Like, and it also makes me wonder, like, why is everybody wearing these half corseted look? It's just, I don't know.
That's the theme.
I'm angry.
Sorry, Harry. What's the one you were not sold on?
I know we're talking about being nice to everyone and all that, but Madrox looks so friggin' stupid. Like, I don't have a better word for it. He looks dumb as hell. Okay? Like, if you looked at Madrox in this costume and we're like, he is in like a Silver Age throwback comic written by Kurt Busiek, like some friggin' Astro City crossover, I'd be like, oh, that makes total sense. He's hanging out with the Century. But this, like, he's got this cape that, first of all, I don't think Madrox should have a cape. That just doesn't feel right. Flat out. I don't see that one bit. It's like split down the middle. He's got these like gray glove patterns that don't make any sense really. I know like it's fashion and stuff like makes sense, but it just feels out of place. He's got this random chest circular gray thing that doesn't like feel like it's impactful at all. And then he's got this dumbass doohickey like connected to his glasses. Like this looks like some crappy ass cosplay. They should throw him out. They should throw him out of the gala and just say he should be ashamed of himself. I give this no stars.
Then they're not waiting service.
I know that's why he gets to go in. They can't say anything. He gets to go in
because and I also think it's a disgruntled dupe made this for him. Like this was probably not the one, and then the disgruntled dupe just made it, and it's like whatever, and then it's too late.
He's got like these belt straps on the one side of his clothes and like half of like a collar. Like I kind of like the shoulder like Madrox symbols for like a superhero costume, not like a fashion thing. Like this, it doesn't look right. Yeah, I don't know what. Now I'm getting mad. What the heck?
It reminded me a little bit of like third world country, like dictator look. Like I don't know. It just was not.
It does feel like he's doing like bad Watchmen cosplay. Like he's trying to.
Yeah.
Guys, I did it 45 minutes ago. Sorry.
What's yours?
I'm not buying Warpath's look. So
he looks dumb.
I'm not sure why there's like 2 durians on his shoulder. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I know it's supposed to look like armor, but no.
I will say I like how proud of himself he looks in the design. He's just like, I did my best.
His last name is Proudstar. Come on.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he's got great shoes. He has one of the best shoes out of all of the men.
Why does he have he has like sea urchin shoulder pads? I don't understand. Like, there's no, like some of these characters, most of these characters, like there is some kind of like tie into their character or their power set or their attitude. And this, not to steal your time, Tyler, just doesn't feel like that.
No, it does not. And I mean, I know you said sea urchin. I just think of it as like durians. So
durian fruit,
which is like those prickly fruit.
Yeah, the fruit. Yeah.
Hopefully, it smells better.
So my one, and I was actually kind of shocked by it because this happened to be the mutant whose whole power is about making you horny. Like that's what we learned. And this is the character that has the weirdest, like, non-gala, just a suit with his tattoo on the arm.
Oh, yeah.
I am talking about Dakin. Like, seriously. Like,
Okay.
what? I mean, his regular thing is not wearing a shirt. He does not wear a shirt. And that's his whole thing. Like, he's like, just going about being sexy, being smoking hot, like messing with your pheromone and whatnot. That's his whole thing. Like, he's upset that he never knows whether you really love him or you're he's manipulating your feeling with that face of his. That's his whole thing. But here he is wearing that. I mean, is it because they didn't want to have a competition with Colossus? Like, that's why they needed to really tim him down, like make him less. I don't know what it was, but I was like, what is this? It's just his tattoo on a suit.
I'm so conflicted here because like the concept of just like minimalism or simplicity is kind of fun. It doesn't really line up with his character, and he just looks outclassed by everyone around him.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. He's part Japanese. So minimalism is kind of ingrained in the Japanese culture.
But there's things about it that just don't make sense. Like, he's got that tuxedo effect on the lapel where it's a different color than his suit, but there's no tuxedo effect on the pants. And then the pants are tailored in a way that's very like 10 or 15 years ago to go like that far down to the floor. Like, the break on men's pants is usually way higher. It just, none of it quite goes together. Also, if anybody was going to show up nude, I would have assumed it would have been Dakin.
Exactly. And the thing is, iBoy stole his look. iBoy stole his actual look.
Same.
And he wore like his regular Dakin's regular costume, just made it colorful, and he showed up wearing that. It's insane.
What's crazy is David Baldeon, like all of his designs are so good except this one.
But maybe it's intentional. We don't know yet if it's the character is going to get mocked by the other characters. But I agree. It's so dull compared to the other ones, which are so high fashion.
Carl is actually dressed really well, and Carl and Jean Paul, the two of them just match.
Jean Paul was a runner up for me. I thought he looks incredible in this.
The other couples dress up that matches is Professor X and Magneto. I mean, they're going as a couple. Like Gambit and Rogue are not going as like their dresses are different. They're going as a couple, but
they are because the patterns, the green patterns and the purple patterns, they match.
They're like similar lace.
Yeah, but still, it's a different color. But they're like same color, same outlook, same everything. It was just something.
I do want to say, now that we're like kind of looking at all of them, like I do think the artists who did the best with their designs, I think it has to be David Baldeon and
for sure.
But Valerio Schiti as like a close runner-up. I think he did some really, really cool stuff with Magneto. I love WizKid's design. Like, that is just so out there and fun. And Korra, our new character Korra, looks great too.
Why does Korra has the baby doll look, which I kind of like? I don't buy. I don't buy it as a character.
This character has no personality that we know of, though. I feel like you can just play around more. That just seems like a classic.
Also, I think it just works a lot better as like young ingenue on the red carpet than Psylocke, which like doesn't really have an analog. I think this kind of like half baby doll, but it's got lapels, but it's got layers, but there's a shorter skirt underneath. Like, this is very. I feel like I could see what's her name, like Swarcy Ronan in this, or I could see, there are people who would wear this, and so it bugged me as much as not Psylocke, Betsy's.
Betsy.
I'm kind of like, who is this? What is this look? Like, what is it for?
But she's as of right now, we know that she's the only Araki or Arakan who is in the gala. But I loved her initial reveal and everything. So I'm all about that character. More of Korra. Anyway. So moving on from fashion, which I know we love to talk about, let's talk about story points, so let's predict one massive thing that you think is going to be happening, because we were told that there's going to be some massive shocking thing, and due to solicits, we already know. So what do you think? Give me one, starting with you, Peter.
I think we're going to see some group of people living farther out in space than just the sword platform. I think there's going to be a colony of mutants somewhere in space. Maybe they're secret. Maybe that's where the Arakkans are going. Maybe it's a fail safe. But I think that's where we're going.
Interesting. I did not even think about that. Okay, Harry.
Planet-size X-Men, Fariha.
That is in the
planet
title.
size.
I mean,
besides the obviousness of like some characters are gonna hook up and it's gonna be crazy. That's that one. I feel we're gonna have a lot of fun with that whenever that gets revealed. I mean, I feel like there's gonna be some big reveal or sinister machinations of Xavier or Magneto during the party, because I do feel like most of these issues are going to be fun, and I think it's going to be a good time. But there's definitely going to be one book that's revealing there is much more sinister stuff afoot than we realize, and I feel like it has to be X-Men. I know that's vague, but in this moment of where mutants are being recognized by humanity in such this big, bombastic, fancy way, something's going to happen that is going to reveal that Krakoa has got a lot going on. We've been very down on Xavier and Magneto lately for good reason, but that's just been
maybe Sinister is the sixth petal of Orcus that has been redacted, so you don't see anything.
I thought about that.
You thought about that too,
but hi. Tyler, what's yours?
My prediction is actually along the line of what Peter said. Like one of my guesses for Hickman's long game is that Moira has a long-term plan to make sure that she becomes God, i.e. the Dominion, and i.e. the singularity that she learned of in Life 6 that exists.
You sure
outside.
Life 6?
Yeah, Life 6, outside of space and time. And therefore, if and when she died, she will not reset the current lifetime. And one of the steps of getting to a Dominion is forming a world mind, which is a galactic society, and is commonly a planet. And we have comics called Planet-Size X-Men. And we also have Magneto saying that they have a plan involving Omega mutants. So I think they are trying to get a world mind going, like, in the post-humans in Life 6 did with like Nibiru Nimbus. How, I do not know, but yeah.
Right. So my one prediction is, and that's because I just keep clamoring about it and then just talking about it, is something that moves forward X-Men 6, from X-Men 6. I have and it's only because that in the gala guide, there was only 2 mutants that were focused. It was Colossus and it was Mystique. And so that's, for some reason, I feel like something to do with both of these characters is going to come to head during this gala. And I also think that the fact that Mystique is shown with Hellions in the fashion cover is not by mistake, but because of the fact that I feel like she figured out that Sinister has a way of bringing back mutants bypassing the 5. And I have a feeling that something to do with that will come to the thing with Destiny, with bringing back Destiny. Also, Way of X has kind of also talking about there's David and Legion going around and be like, there's something wrong. So because of that, I feel like something to do with that will go in effect. I don't know. So that's kind of will be my prediction for this. Fingers crossed. Please give my girl Mystique some content.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next question I have is what one plot thread from Hox Pox Ducks Rocks that you want to move forward post gala, and pick your title, which writer, creator that you want them to pick this up, and then going with it, starting with Peter.
Mine is kind of the flip side of the thing that Tyler just said. I'm ready for that World Mind Dominion stuff. It doesn't have to be phalanx, but I want to start seeing, we've been teasing enough about mutant machines. I want to see what happens when you've got a machine. What is the outcome? What happens when 2 different machines get combined? Let's start going there. And I think if anybody's going to write it, I think it's Hickman. That's what I want the secret Hickman title to be. Give me the Hickman that I love. Give me big brain science Hickman, where I'm not worried about his characterizations because he's writing about that conceptual stuff and let it build. Let it not just be one shots. So my money is on the Hickman is the big brain science book, and it's going to finally address the progress towards being world minds.
I would love that very much.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry, what about you?
I want to see more of the past lives of Moira. I know that's a very classic one. They've talked about it, but there's so much on the table there that we've been just sitting around waiting to see more of. That's my hope for what Hickman does, honestly. I know that we're in this line is a massive hit. They're taking their time. They're enjoying themselves. There's a big party. I get that. But I do want to see a little bit more forward momentum with the Moira plot line in some capacity. Runner-up answer is I would like to see more plot lines from the series X Factor in the book X Factor. So let's hope.
I'm glad that you just threw that in there.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that. Tyler, what about you?
That's now I know how Harry feels like when I say something that he wanted to say. Because the very first one that I wrote down was the death of Prodigy and Aurora, to be continued in X Factor Volume 2, because we have not resolved those two things. But since Harry said that, I'm going to go on to my next one, which is to resolve the Kate story in Marauders. Why couldn't she use the gate?
Yes.
What is stopping her from using the gate? Why is Krakoa blocking her? That's it.
And my one that I want to and I don't want it to be resolved, but I just want someone to talk about it. Like one person other than Emma Frost. What is up with Moira? Where is she? What is she doing? What's the plan? What is going on? Is there going to be more lives? What are we going to do? Or is it going to be just this random plot threads we're going to get throughout? I just want the character Moira to show up in one panel somewhere post gala, and then something to do with that, something that will be called. And initially I wanted it to be like, oh, okay, going post gala, make it all about Moira. But then Peter kind of got me off the ledge. Peter's like, no, let's let it continue. I want that to be hanging. I'm like, you know what? Peter's right. I'll do that too. So that's kind of where I am with it. So
do you know that this question causes me a lot of stress? Because I have such a long list of hanging threads that I catalog. And I was like, what about this? Oh, no. What about that? No. What about this one? No. There were so many things that people just drop hints
because you were just so it's stressful. Give me one more. Give me one more, and then we'll
get him out,
end
man.
Okay. Yeah. Let's resolve the Vulcan story in Sword.
What is the Vulcan story?
Did he die? Did he not die? Who is this Vulcan?
Oh right. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
We need to sit you down and just have you read out. I'm not even joking. If you have a list, let's kind of get into that one.
Yeah, we could just have an episode. Tyler has 90 seconds to list as many as dangling plot threads.
So audience, people, just viewers. Let us know. Viewers, let us know. Do you want us to do that episode? Do you want us to talk about all the hanging plot threads? And we'll be talking about what will we name it? Tyler's hanging plot threads. No, I don't know. We'll come up with a better title than that.
Yeah.
But
Tyler time.
Yeah, so Tyler time with hanging plot threads. That's it from us today from this week's Crushing Comics Hellfire Gala Special Edition. We'll be back next week to talk about all the Gala special issues. I'm not sure which one it is. Peter is usually the one who keeps track of it, but so apologies that I don't know.
Don't look at me. I rely on Tyler to keep track of these things.
So Tyler, which ones are those? But whichever one is those, we know it's going to be fun. We know that we're going to have fun, at least because of all the high fashion and everything. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. And we are super excited for it, and I know you are too. So please join us next week. And until then, it is a goodbye from myself, Peter, Harry, and Tyler. Until then, goodbye.